Hello, Leo. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Morgan Greer Tarot, supportive Oracle cards, Energy Oracle cards by Sandra Ann Taylor. Okay, Leo. You're the third fire sign I'm doing at the moment, and I just feel like I'm caught right up in that energy. Oh. Very common. Let's see. It reminds me of Leo a lot. Not Leo. You're Leo. Reminds me of Aries and Scorpio a little bit. Aries had a very similar spread, the beginning and the end, especially, and Scorpio started off the same way. So, in case that matters to you, you might want to watch those videos to see if maybe somebody you're dealing with or something is connected with the same situation for you. Maybe. When you're going into this situation, I'm really feeling a very strong connection with Scorpio because you, like Scorpio, are not afraid of a fight. Leo is not afraid of a fight. Scorpio is not afraid of a fight. Aquarius, Aries, to name a few. Those are the ones that I think of that they're not afraid. Like you got a problem? All right, then I can deal with it. I don't have a problem. Like you're not afraid to deal with it. And I'm getting that's when you get the storm warning here with the garden and the gate. If things get rough, you have no problem handling that. But at the same time, just because you could doesn't mean you have to. So it's kind of like, yeah, I can deal with it. Yeah, I can roll with it. Yeah, I can. It's not going to hold me down. If things get rough, I'll handle it if I need to. But the garden and the gate right after it, along with the five or the four of cups, is kind of like, is this worth it though? Just because I can fight this battle, is it worth it for me? Do I really want to? Like, I think with Scorpio, I was using the analogy of going up this jagged mountain. Like, I can do that. Yeah, I can do that. But I get up there and I look at the view for 5 minutes and I go down the other side. Like, is this even worth it for me? Is this fight worth it for me? And I'm getting like judgment seems to turn. Okay, judgment is reversed. It's here in the environment. Nobody's winning in this situation. Okay. Because I'm like, ooh, I don't know if I like this, but no, nobody is winning in this situation. And that's another reason you're kind of like, I can fight this battle. I can totally fight this battle. But who's winning? Am I really getting anything that's of value for me? Am I really winning? It's kind of like when I hear people go into certain situations and they're not really going to get anything out of it, but then they come back with that, well, it's about the principle of the situation. I feel like it makes sense to a point, but after a while, it's just kind of like you might be drilling yourself into the ground for the principle of the situation. I don't know. But I feel like if this is hitting with you, you're kind of like, it's not worth it. Like, it's just not worth it. Who cares? Who cares what somebody else thinks? Like, who cares? This situation is like, I feel like the whole thing, like nobody's winning in this situation. When I get judgment reversed, and I'm getting the world injustice in the environment. Things are definitely changing one way or another. I feel like this is better to like go with the changes rather than to go against them. The more whoever is it, well, the situation you're connected with, whoever just kind of flows with it and lets it change and lets it move forward like it needs to, like a change is happening here that people are trying to fight against. Justice happens with those who accept the change. It's kind of like, this is a rough one, but once, like, it's almost like after a car accident happens, and it's kind of like once it's done, it's kind of like, all right, well, we know things are going to have to be fixed. Cars are going to have to be fixed or replaced. People are going to have to be mended. Things are going to have to be taken care of. Lawyers are going to have to be possibly hired. It's just, justice comes forward when people just accept, like, instead of saying, this isn't my fault, or I shouldn't have to do this, or this shouldn't have to happen, or this wasn't right, or that wasn't right. Instead of fighting about what wasn't right, going into the, like, well, I have to get a new car, so I'm going to handle that. Well, I'm going to have to deal with a lawyer, so I'm going to have to get that. Like, just kind of like just dealing with, the more you accept what has to happen rather than what isn't right, like don't waste your time on what isn't right. Put your energy in what just has to naturally happen anyway. Well, I shouldn't have to pay for that car, but I need one now. I have to get to work. I have to do this. I have to do that. So it's kind of like, well, I guess I'm just going to have to get one, and then we're just going to have to see how the rest of it works out later. I shouldn't have to, understandably. Like, you may be in that situation where I shouldn't have to, but are you going to put your life on hold and put yourself and other people through that stress by not? So it's kind of like, all right, I have to get another one, and then we're going to have to meld it out afterwards. That's what's going on with this situation. Kind of like, it may not be right, it may not be fair that I have to do this or do that, but it needs to be done. So even though the way it's getting done may not be correct due to what happened, I need to move forward so that I don't hold myself back or cause myself extra issues. Which is, again, kind of like the storm warning is there saying, I can fight this out. I can stand here all day and make it work out the way it looks like it should work out. Or I can back away from this, ignore, and just kind of like, you know what, I'm not going to fight this fight that way. I'm going to just take care of things and start putting my life back together the way it needs to go back together. You know? And it's up for you to make that decision. For those of you this is going to hit with, you know what the difference is. No matter what the analogy I just used was, you know the difference between this is how that should work out, but there's a lot of resistance here. This is what needs to get done. I can do that. So it's kind of like, you know the difference. What needs to be done versus how it should happen. I don't know, to me it seems a little dicey, but I feel like for those of you it makes sense for, that it applies for. Like, I shouldn't have to pay for that car, so I'm not going to do it. But then meanwhile, if you're doing that, you have no car. On the other hand, though, you're like, I need a car, so let me get one. Then hopefully this balances out later and I get the money to replace, I get the money that goes into this car so that it kind of balances out that way. Hopefully it goes that way. Instead of sitting there and going, I'm not buying a car. You're going to have to do it for me because you were the one who was wrong. You're the one who broke the car. I feel like for those of you that makes sense for, that it's supposed to. So I'm going to let that go. The situation, there's a lot of energy here that makes me feel like other people, like nobody feels like they should have to do. I don't understand this. Like everybody, it's almost like no matter what angle you go at, everybody thinks they're right. I don't know what that's how it feels. Somebody else is waiting the situation out, but they feel like they're right. So they're waiting it out and waiting it out and waiting it out because they feel like they're right. The situation, it goes into a negative. It goes into a negative spot. You don't like the way the situation is moving forward to the next stage. Whether you're holding on and you're fighting that fight, whether you're weathering the storm or you've decided it's not worth it and you're just going to go around it and do what you have to do, no matter which way you go, you're not going to be happy with the way the next stage comes out. It's not the worst, but you're not. It's kind of like when I'm getting the Page of Cups connecting with the Three of Swords. It's kind of like I needed $25,000 and I got 10. That's kind of what I'm feeling. It's kind of like I got something, but I didn't get nearly enough to what I needed. And the World card is coming in, and it's telling me that the next phase comes in. But I also feel like there's extra energy outside of the situation where it's kind of like they're not really sure it's over. Whatever the situation is, you don't like how it shook out at this point. That phase does seem to be moving on, but it's almost like an offshoot series, I would say. It's kind of like the main series was, I don't know what you would call it. I can't think of something that branched off into a second series. But like the main situation stops or seems to come to an end, but then this extra energy around you might come at you again a second time. There's something where this other energy that feels like they're right, they don't feel like they got out of the situation what they should have got out of the situation. And they're holding on. They got envy with the Moon card. Like, they don't think this is right. They don't think this worked out fairly. They want something else from you. Okay, let's keep going. The door to spirit shows up on your side. I feel like, for example, you needed the 25,000, you got 10. I feel like no matter what way you started out here, like going through the storm or going around the storm, whatever way you did, at this point you're just kind of like, whatever. And you're just kind of moving on from it. That's the door to spirit, kind of like, I'm not going to put any more energy into this. It shook out the way it shook out. I'm not impressed with this whole situation, but I'm not going to waste my time with it. You seem to move on. The other side, they're going towards something else here. They got the Eight of Cups with the Six of Pentacles. They want more. That's weird for the Six of Pentacles. They want more. They want more. They want to get more from this situation. The other side is not letting it go. I am definitely an intuitive reader, but that's how this is coming through. Like they're not satisfied. They want more from this situation. Whoever this other side is, they feel like they should have more. They're not letting it go. You may be letting it go, but they're not. I feel like that's the whole point of this reading, that the other side is not letting it go. The Tower card pops up next. They're going to come back trying to get more from you. Either they're going to try to get back what you have gotten, or they're going to kind of come at you in a different way and try to get something from you in a different way. Like something else is backlashing and coming back after the fact. Like you have let go of the situation. You have moved on from it. This other side feels like you owe them more and they're coming for more. The Tower card is this. It's like you're not expecting it at all. They definitely feel like whoever this other side is, they honestly feel like they're owed more. They do feel like they are owed more. I'm getting that with the heart chakra. This is not, you're not happy with this. You've got the heartbroken card, broken heart card with the attachment. And it's kind of like, I can't believe this is still going. What else do I have to do with this? What else is this going to go for? All right, so do we have an answer for that? I feel like the best way to handle this is to find out what is it that they actually think. Like, find out what is it they really want. Because I don't feel like at this point you really know. What is it they want from you, and why do they think that you owe them that? And then just go into it head on. Like, let's just deal with it. Because I'm getting the situation won't stop until the Queen of Cups is satisfied. The Fool card with the Healer of Ages is telling me, go forward and try to figure out why the situation won't let go. What is it that they still want from you? Because I feel like this is not coming forward truthfully. Something is not showing itself just yet. There's a way to come to peace with this. But I feel like when this energy comes back again, it's kind of like, all right, because you're not expecting it. It's not something you're really happy about, but it's kind of like, you know what do we need to do to bury the hatchet, to figure this out, to put this to rest? I'm getting this situation will not stop until the other side has gotten satisfaction in some respect. And it may just be an explanation. So whatever it is you're doing to push them off, kind of like, because I don't feel like it's kind of like, I don't really, like, there's nothing else I owe this other side, but they seem to think I do, and it's really making me question, like, why? If you go forward and sort it out with them, and figure out what it is they want and why they think you owe it to them, it'll either calm the energy down or it'll help them figure out where they really should be taking that energy. It's the only way that the Queen of Cups is going to be satisfied. It's going to take some type of connection, conversation. What is it they really want? Once you understand what they really want, you'll know what to do with it. Because I don't feel like until this later part that it's really coming forward. It just keeps coming back and coming back. If you push it back, because you do have the ability to, just kind of push it back, like, no, not dealing with you directly, especially if this is connected to lawyers, like, I feel like you really need to find out what the other side wants. Be careful how you do that. Work with your lawyer if it has to have lawyers involved. Work with your lawyer and what you need to do with that. But find out what is it they really want. What is the real problem here? Because once you find that answer, I feel like that's when you can shut this down and move this on by just kind of like, oh, that's what you want? Well, all right, here. And then you can move it on. It's finding out what they really want is the question. What do they really want? It's a general read. I realize you're going to have to find that answer out. But I feel like that's what this whole reading is about. It's like you're not happy with it to begin with. You try to move on from it, but then it's the other side that feels like they're owed something. They just are relentless until they get it. So whatever part you're in of this situation, the sooner you realize that, the sooner you find out what the other side really wants, the sooner you can shut this down and put it in the past. You can just let it go. Because I feel like that's, eventually at least, that's what you're going to want. All right. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.